Welcome to Simple Learning. Today we are exploring one of the most influential essays in history of studies by Francis Bacon. Written in 1625, this timeless masterpiece reveals the true value of education and how it can transform your life. Let's dive in. Francis Bacon, a 17th century philosopher and statesman, is widely regarded as the father of empiricism. His works have shaped Western philosophy, and Of Studies remains a foundational text on education. Here we will discuss line-by-line breakdown of Francis Bacon's essay Of Studies. So, get ready with your text and follow the video till the end so that you can answer any question on this essay. First line: studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. So, Bacon introduces the three primary purposes of studying: personal enjoyment, social enhancement, and practical skill. Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. It means studies bring joy and satisfaction when done in solitude and quiet contemplation. For ornament is in discourse. Studies enhance one's social presence and conversation. And for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. Means studies develop critical thinking and decision-making skills. For expert men can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one. It means specialized knowledge allows experts to handle specific tasks. But the general counsels and the plots of marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned. However, broad strategic thinking requires a well-rounded education. Next line. To spend too much time in studies is sloth. Means excessive study leads to laziness. To use them too much for ornament is affectation. Means overemphasizing studies for social status is pretentious. To make judgment wholly by their rules is the humor of a scholar. Means relying solely on theoretical knowledge is characteristics of an ivory tower scholar. They perfect nature and are perfected by experience. Bacon wants to tell here that studies refine natural abilities which are then enhanced by practical experience. Next line. For natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study. Natural talents require refinement through education, and studies themselves do give forth directions too much at large except they be bounded in by experience. This line means that theoretical knowledge needs practical boundaries. Now, one of the most important lines of this essay, that crafty men condemn studies, simple men admire them, and wise men use them. This line means that different types of people respond to studies differently. Cunning individuals dismiss them as they think study to be a wastage of time and do not want to undertake the trouble. Simple men admire studies but are unable to use them for their benefit. Thus, it is only the wise men who can make the most effective use of learning. For they teach not their own use, but that is a wisdom without them, and above them won by observation. It means studies don't teach their own application. That requires separate observational wisdom. Next line. Read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted. This line means don't read solely to argue or blindly accept. Next line. Not to find talk and discourse. It means nor merely to gather conversation topics, but to weigh and consider. So, the sole purpose of our study should be to read thoughtfully, to evaluate. Now, another one of the most important lines. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. In this extract, Bacon says that all books in the world do not deserve equal amount of attention of its readers. He classifies books into three categories. The first, which are to be read in parts only, and not in detail. Second, there are some books which should be read from cover to cover and do not deserve mindful studies. It is the third type, of which there is a small number which deserve to be read thoroughly and diligently, as they provide matter which can enrich the readers with their wisdom and knowledge. Some books also may be read by deputy and extracts made of them by others. It means some books can be summarized by others, but that would be only the less important arguments and the meaner sort of books. This applies only to less significant works. Next, else distilled books are like common distilled waters, flashy things. So, Bacon says that summarized books lack depth, like shallow, sparkling water. Reading maketh a fool man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. It means reading broadens knowledge, discussion prepares one for conversation, and writing refines thinking. And therefore, if a man write little, he had need have a great memory. So, those who write little need excellent memory. If he confer little, he had need have a present wit. So, those who engage in little discussion require quick thinking. And if he read little, he had need have much cunning to seem to know that he doth not. Those who read little must be cunning and pretend knowledge. Now, another important line. Histories make men wise, poets witty, the mathematics subtle, natural philosophy deep, moral grave, logic and rhetoric able to contend. So, in these lines, Bacon expresses in his typical, almost stenographical brevity how the different faculties of human mind are developed and nurtured by the study of various subjects. Thus, the study and reading of history makes a man informative and wise. Reading poetry develops a man's imaginative power. The study of mathematics develops a power of concentration, and the study of science lends depth to the human mind. Then again, the study of ethics makes him serious-minded, and the study of logic and rhetoric develops his oratory skills. Next line, it's a Latin phrase, abuent studia in mores. It means studies pass into and influence manners. So, as I told you, this is a Latin phrase meaning studies pass into character. That is, studies have a distinguished role in shaping human character, and the studies of different subjects develop the different faculties of the human mind. Nay, there is no stone or impediment in the wit but may be wrought out by fit studies. It means no mental limitation can't be overcome through suitable education. like as diseases of the body may have appropriate exercises. It means just as physical exercise addresses specific health issues, like bowling is good for the stone and reins, this line suggests that bowling is beneficial for health issues related to the kidneys, that is stone, and lower back, reins. Next, shooting for the lungs and breast. Shooting or archery is beneficial for respiratory health, lungs, and chest strength, that is breast. Gentle walking for the stomach. Gentle walking is beneficial for digestive health, stomach. Riding for the head. Riding, horseback, is beneficial for mental clarity and focus, head, and the like. It means this phrase indicates that there are other physical activities suitable for various health issues, that address various health issues. So, if a man's wit be wandering, let him study the mathematics. It means if someone's mind is unfocused or scattered, they should study mathematics to improve mental discipline. For in demonstrations, if his wit be called away never so little, he must begin again. So, mathematics requires concentration. Even brief distraction force one to restart. If his wit be not apt to distinguish or find differences, let him study the schoolmen. It means if someone struggles to distinguish between concepts, he should study scholastic philosophy, which emphasizes fine distinctions. For they are semi-sectaries. Here, Bacon refers scholastic philosophers of Middle Ages as semi-sectaries. That means they are skilled at making subtle distinctions even to the point of splitting hairs. Next line, if he be not apt to beat over matters and to call up one thing to prove and illustrate another, let him study the lawyer's cases. Bacon suggests if someone struggles with analytical connections or relating ideas, he should study law cases which require analytical thinking. So, every defect of mind may have a special receipt. That means the last line suggests that each mental limitation can be addressed through targeted education or activity. Now, let's discuss the questions given in the Council textbook of class 11. First question, what is meant by the phrase semi-sectaries? This question carries 2 marks. Answer will be like this. It's a Latin term used by Bacon to denote those people who have the capacity of differentiating and distinguishing things, similar to philosophers of Middle Ages. In this essay, Bacon suggests that if a man is unable to differentiate between things easily, he should study works of the philosophers of the Middle Ages. Next question, what is meant by study so for ability? This question also carries 2 marks. Answer is, the quoted line means studies most importantly augment one's skill to accomplish trade. Next, it's a broad question carrying 6 marks. The question is, comment on the style of the essay of studies. Answer, the style of Francis Bacon's essay of studies is characterized by its lucidity, concision, and epigrammatic flair. Written in a direct and straightforward manner, the essay employs a simple yet elegant prose that facilitates easy comprehension. Bacon's use of aphorisms such as studies so for delight, for ornament, and for ability adds depth and memorability to the text. His sentences are typically short, punchy, and devoid of unnecessary embellishments, reflecting his empirical and pragmatic approach. The essay also features clever metaphors like natural abilities are like natural plants, and allusions like semi-sectaries, demonstrating Bacon's mastery of rhetorical devices. Furthermore, the text organization is logical and cohesive, with each paragraph exploring a distinct aspect of studies. Overall, Bacon's style in Of Studies exemplifies his advocacy for clear and effective communication, making the essay a paradigm of Renaissance prose. Next question, number 4. What is the use of studies as propagated by Bacon in his Of Studies? This question also carries 6 marks. It's a broad answer type question. The answer is, according to Francis Bacon's essay Of Study, the primary uses of studies are threefold: delight, ornament, and ability. Studies serve for delight by providing personal enjoyment and satisfaction, particularly in solitude. They serve as an ornament, enhancing one's social presence and conversation. Most importantly, studies confer ability, equipping individuals with practical skills and knowledge to navigate the complexities of life. Bacon also emphasizes that studies perfect nature and are perfected by experience, implying that education should be balanced with real-world application. Furthermore, he advocates for targeted studies to address specific mental limitations such as mathematics for focus, scholastic philosophy for nuance, and law for analytical thinking. So that's all. You can have screenshots if you need those answers. In conclusion, I must say that Of Studies offers timeless wisdom on the transformative power of education. By embracing Bacon's principles, we can cultivate a balanced approach to learning and unlock our full potential. Thanks for watching Simple Learning. Like and subscribe for more insightful explorations of classic text.